Hey y'all, Travis here, and I'm the founder over at Manready Mercantile. Know a lot of y'all are holed up at the house right now and kind of on cruise control, hanging with the family. And what a better thing to do today besides show y'all how to make the ultimate comfort food. It's one of my favorites my grandma used to make, banana nut bread. The recipe I have today is something I found a long time ago. I made a couple adjustments here and there, and I found the perfect recipe for a super moist, super sweet banana nut bread. And as you know, if you don't have those two combinations, they ain't worth a dang. I'm gonna show you how I do it, so let's go ahead and dig in. Here we go. All right, y'all, let's talk about these ingredients. We're gonna need a big old mixing bowl. We've got some pure cane sugar, some regular sour cream. I don't use the fat-free, by the way. I'm gonna go all in on it, or I'm not gonna do it at all. Got my measuring cups, measuring spoons. On the walnuts, make sure you get black walnuts. Got some vanilla extract, kosher salt, unsalted butter. I always use unsalted. A couple of eggs. I've got my bananas, and I know these look horrible. I'm gonna tell you why here in a minute. And we got some all-purpose flour, and we've got our pan as well as a mixer. All right, y'all. So I went ahead and added 1 cup of sugar and 1 stick of butter to our mixer. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this wrapper, and a cool little trick is, rub the inside of your pan really good with this all the way around. And what it'll do is whenever you're done cooking your banana nut bread, this thing's gonna pop out of there real quick. So that's just a little trick for you. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cream room temperature butter with our sugar. Let that go for maybe a minute or so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add my eggs. And I like to do it in here because if I crack them over this, I could potentially get some shell in there. So I'll add these one at a time, and then I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of our vanilla extract. All right, so our next step is to add our dry ingredients to a mixing pan. We got 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We've got 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm gonna mix that together, and I'm gonna add it to our mixing pot. All right, I'm gonna add these dry ingredients in here, give them a little mix. We're gonna go on to the next thing. I'll probably run this for, 30 seconds or so, just as long as it's all blended together pretty well. All right, adding 1/2 cup of sour cream. Mix that together just a little bit. All right, y'all, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, these crazy looking bananas that we got here. They look pretty disgusting, but the trick to this recipe is definitely the process for the bananas. So we all know that you want to get your bananas really ripe by leaving them out several weeks or whatever it takes for them to turn pretty dang brown. You're not trying to get them rotten, but you definitely want to get them extremely, extremely ripe. And then big trick is to put them in the freezer for a few days, and they'll get really frozen in these. It goes through a process that breaks down the starches and converts them to sugar whenever they thaw back out. So that's the real secret, that's the trick. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of squeeze these 3 bananas into a pan, and then or into a bowl, and then mix them up, puree them if you will, and then I'm gonna add them to my mixer and finish this thing off. I wanted to show you how these things look. You kind of wring them out and get all of that goodness out of there. And if you could only smell these right now, how intensely sweet it smells. So go ahead and do this, and then, mix them up really good and get them nice and pureed. And then we're gonna throw them in our mixer. All right, let's add that puree to our mixer. Give that just a little bit of time to blend in really good, maybe 30 seconds or something like that. And we're gonna add our walnuts. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add these walnuts. The recipe calls for 1/2 cup. This is 2.25 ounces, and I always use black walnuts. And what I've found is that they're not quite as bitter as some of the other ones. And I just really like the texture of these. I don't like the really fine chopped walnuts. I like them to have a little tooth feel to it, if you will, a little bite. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything out of the mixer into this pan. I'm only using one hand. I'm gonna try not to mess this thing up, so let's get it in there. All right, y'all, I threw it in the oven at 350 on the middle rack. What I'm gonna do is let that thing bake for about an hour. Set my timer. I'm gonna come check on it at that time, and I'm gonna check it with a toothpick. Just give it time, have yourself a drink, and always remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. All right, y'all, let's check on this bad boy, see what we're working with. It's looking good, smelling good. Let's get our fancy toothpick apparatus here and test it out. And it is dry. So, what we're gonna do now is just let that thing finish with the carryover heat. It'll continue cooking a little bit, but y'all just keep in mind, every oven's different. And I like to check on it in an hour. You might have to leave it in there a little bit longer, or maybe next time, you cook it a little bit less. Maybe it's 50 or 55 minutes, just depending. But I like to check on it because I don't want that thing dried out. And remember, it's gonna continue to cook for a little bit. But I'm gonna let this thing rest for probably at least an hour and let it cool down before I go to try to cut into it. But let me tell you right now, I can't wait. All right, y'all, you can see how by buttering that pan, this whole thing came out so easily. Just absolutely amazing. Moment of truth. Here we go. See what we're working with. Absolutely amazing. Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed, following the journey with me on this go around. This banana nut bread looks incredible, and I can't wait to go dive into it. Hope y'all have enjoyed it, and if y'all got some good recipes, tag us and follow us on social media. Give us a like and a subscribe on our YouTube channel and all that good stuff. We appreciate the support, and thank y'all for shopping small. Y'all have a good one.